Holly, if you can hear me. Mama, I see you. Bet. Welcome to episode 78 of the Positive Impact Podcast, where we talk about all topics relevant to the game I love. I am your host, Terrell Dozier, and tonight's special guest is the electric Mr. Everything Streetball, Mr. Waliyy Main Event.
Peace.
My boy, what's good with you?
What's good, bro? How you doing?
I'm good. I'm glad we getting this in, man. I'm glad we getting this in.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So, first things first, man. I had to have a little bit of wine for you tonight. Salute to you. Everything you've done, no doubt.
Salute.
No doubt.
Salute. Stay ready.
No doubt. No question. So, first things first, man. I ask everybody how you been getting along during this pandemic.
Just listening and being smart. You know, mask up. Got wipes everywhere in the car, in the house. Got spray.
Yeah.
You know, just being cautious. Actually, it's something we should have been doing.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Especially when you're going out at stores and stuff. You shouldn't be up on the person. You just stay on a little private space. But it's also a learning experience. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Nah, no question about it. So let's get right into it, man. And I wanna start in the beginning for Waliyy Dixon. You know what I mean? And let's talk about who put the ball in your hand, or when you first started to love this game of basketball. That's done so much for you, and you're giving back to.
I gotta say, there's a couple people. Started like when I was younger, because I played football, baseball, basketball, box, little martial arts here and there. My two cousins, actually brothers and sisters, my two cousins, Alicia, they call her P, and my cousin Silas. And then as I got a little older, I remember my mom, she was just reminding me, she was like, yeah, you know your first basketball goal. I said, nah. She was like, at 1212 McCandless Street, it was a hanger, and I used to put it between the chair. Mm-hmm. And me and my cousin, like my brother Pop, we used to just be shooting stuff on my knees and trying to play. But and then you get a little older, you go to Tyrone Givens, my god brother. I used to shoot with two hands.
Mm-hmm.
And he caught me, showed me the game through PAL. And then you move on to like AAU. I got to give all props to Brian Crawford, my cousin Brian Crawford, North Rams. Mm-hmm. Just being a kid, just wanted to get good. I got cut from 6th grade. I got cut from 7th grade. I never gave up. Went down south, worked on my game with my big cousins. It was grass, and then it became dirt. And I came back up and just, through all the OGs around my way out here, lived in New Jersey, Elizabeth area, the Plainfield area, just different guys I was balling against, the older guys. I was able to learn a lot of things from each individual. And I just, carried that over to where I just wanted to be good. Now I'm competing now. Now I'm myself. I want people to see like, I should have made the team, but I wasn't good enough. I'm going to keep it real. I wasn't good enough. Just was taller than the average kid. In 8th grade, I came to Linden, and I started playing for Seoul Middle School in Linden. Made the 8th grade team, had an undefeated season, and it's been crazy ever since. And also at 15 years old, going on 16, I started and got introduced to Rucker Park through Mousy.
No question about it. So, I mean, your build has always been like a man child, right? Like more like that football build.
You're breaking up. You're breaking up.
Am I? How's that?
That's better. You got that Trump phone?
Nah. So what? You know, you built for tough. You know what I mean? Like you wasn't a skinny kid. You always had like the big build to take that punishment wherever you need to be. So talk about what it was like. You know what I mean? Like being big for your age and playing with older kids. So how was it playing with older kids? How did that help shape your game?
When I say older, I mean I'm like in my like 12, 13, they're teenagers. They're 19, 20, 21, 22. Then once I became like 15, 16, 17, I'm playing with the OGs. You know, you're talking about like Brent Wyatt, Larry McGee, like old school cats, you know. So it was a learning experience because they had day 5, the other team had day 5, the cats that got next got day 5, and I had to sit on the side like, damn. By the time I play, the lights would be going off in the park, or the janitor, God rest Mr. Stalin, he'd be cutting the lights off at School 5 gym. And once I started getting picked, I'm like, okay, I wasn't picked to be the scorer. The first name I had besides my government name was my man Kevin Johnson. We call him KB. He called me Dennis Rodman because I would dive on the floor. I would just play hard, run the floor, block shots, rebound, and that's how I started getting picked. And once I started showing a little stuff here, showing stuff there, now I don't have to rush to the gym. Now I don't have to worry about if I'm going to even be able to get a shot off before the lights go off because now the OGs is picking me up to have me on their squad, you know? So that was a blessing and also a learning experience that I think a lot of the youth now, especially here in Linden, they built a rec center, but they took away where they got the high school kids could play on one night, the adults could play on another night, you know, before the pandemic. To me, nah, bro. You're going to learn. You're going to learn to respect the game. You're going to learn how to be respectful to each other. And you're going to definitely learn how to lose in a manner because you ain't going to want to lose because you might not get picked next. Right. So once they took that away, a lot of the kids now, not only are they on their video games and stuff, but they're not even really hitting the gyms. And now you got them playing against their peers. You can't get so much better playing with just your peers. You have to play against guys either better than you, taller than you, stronger than you, and also older than you so you can learn.
No question about it. So you wound up going to Linden High School.
Yes.
Was that a foregone conclusion, or could you have gone to a St. Patrick's or anywhere else?
See, in the 90s, if they was doing that, you know, how some of the NBA guys is calling up their boy like, yo, I need you to come here, go there. Like, I went to Linden. I went to Linden High. I wasn't even thinking about no Roselle Catholic, St. Pat's. They wasn't even that good back in those eras, you know. So, as far as private school, that wasn't even on the radar. Right. You know, financial wise, we was brought up like, yo, this your crew right here. The guys you play with every day. Y'all go to the high school. Y'all gonna put on a show and do y'all thing. You know what I mean? So that wasn't even a thought. So Linden High is where I went, where I was able to display my talents.
Nah, no question. And display your talents, you did.
Appreciate that.
So, yeah, no question about it. You know what I'm saying? So, talk about the growth that you made over the 4 years at Linden. Like, what was your game like your freshman year? And then how you developed for your senior year? How did your game change over your 4 years?
My freshman year at Linden High School, I played one game, I think, with JV, and we scrimmaged St. Anthony's. I had about 30. And the coach was like, Wilbur Akins, he was like, oh, nah, he playing with us. So I started my freshman year. I was with a cat named Antoine Allen, Reggie Jackson, Tariq Saunders, my cousin. We had a nice crew. We had a very nice crew, Raheem Brown. And we didn't have that good of a record, but it was good for me. Like, you know, like I was able to play with these guys and not even looking to be like, yo, I'm going to start on varsity. I just wanted to play on varsity. It wasn't no play with JV and play 1 or 2 quarters with varsity. No, I started varsity maybe after like the second game. And it was just like crazy ever since then. You know, having that green light, it's just like the coaching side really, you know, to me, I like good guy. Just to me, my personal thing, and then like in my story, what you'll see in my docu-movie, while I'll shed more light on the situation, but it was the worst coach I ever had. So it was a blessing I had, you know, the Mousy. It was a blessing that I had, you know, Brian Crawford and Tyrone Gibbons. It was a blessing I had them, you know what I mean? Because they was able to actually teach me that game, and just not just that systematic rover screen and all that. They showed me how to really move without the ball, and, you know, handle the ball, shoot the ball, which my high school coach just didn't do it. He was just using me for my natural ability.
No question. So that was kind of like my next question, because you said you started playing at Rucker, and when you was like 15, 16. So you playing at Linden High, but you also busting your chops at the Mecca with guys that are older than you.
That whole experience, so just how I met. Just how I got an opportunity to play at Rucker. You know, I played throughout all Jersey and different what's it called? Jersey Shore League, Harry James God Rest Him League, doing my thing. And I was coming from my two teams that I played with AAU was North Rams with Brian Crawford. I played in the Golden Hoops with Sandy Paioni. Salute to him. With the Roadrunners, New Jersey Roadrunners, and then I played with the Gauchos. So, like in the '90s era, whoever you played for, they wasn't letting you play with other ball clubs. You know what I mean? Just because they might be giving out some dope sneakers or some dope shorts. Mm-hmm. So I asked my cousin to this day, I was like, "Yo, B, why you let me play with the Gauchos?" So he was like, "Yo, wow, listen, man." He said, "They doing international stuff. We ain't doing international stuff." And I know that when your story gets told and they ask you where did he come from, you're going to say the North Rams. So that's big enough the program. You know what I mean? It was all about building a program. But I didn't understand that until I got a little older. And that team, I was blessed to play with Stephon Marbury, Felipe Lopez, Sham God, Mo Brown. We had a crew. I mean, we went overseas smashing the professionals. Like 16, 17, like just smashing them, you know. It was crazy. Steph was like 2 years younger than me. It was crazy. I mean, Felipe had his hype on Sports Illustrated, you know what I mean? So it was real crazy playing with them guys and just doing what I do. You know, Brian was like, "Yo, go do your thing." And I used to go catch the train to Madison Square Garden. One of the twins would pick me up, take me to the Gauchos, make sure I got back to the train, came back. It was just a blessing. Mousy, I'm coming from practice one day. He was like, "Yo, what's up?" My name is Mousy. I said, "Hey, how you doing?" Spanish guy, Dominican, whatever. And he said, "Yo, you ever heard of the Rucker? You ever gonna play the Rucker?" I'm like, "The Rucker? Like, I heard of it, but that's not even on my radar." You know what I mean? Yeah. He came to my house, introduced himself to my parents, my mom and my sister at the time. And they gave the okay because they was very protective over me, asking him mad questions. It was him and his son Jordan. Jordan was so little. You know, he was like about maybe 1 year old, you know. And he's like at 20-something now. They got the okay. He would pick me up. Roger Groves would go over to New York, play with Mousy's dream team. And my first name was a kid from across the water. And as it escalated on, I became the main event. But it was happening in 2-3 years. Like, it didn't just happen like this. Right. You know, so that was like that journey with that. And Mousy had me playing. By the time I played at Rucker, I might play 3 games already that day. I played in Peligre, which was a Dominican league. They had the Soul in the Hole. They had the Tillery Park. They had the Kingdom. They had the Dykeman. So I would be playing in all those different tournaments.
Right. Yeah. So, senior year, you know, we know you wound up going to Rutgers, but what other schools were involved at the time?
The final schools that I boiled it down to a whole bunch of mostly D1 schools was Rutgers, Pitt, Florida State, Georgia Tech, and I don't know why I went to Duke. I think it was Duquesne. Yeah, I think it's Duquesne. The reason why I chose Rutgers, I would have a garbage bag. And my mom would be like, "Yo, why you don't open up those letters? You open up these, but you don't open up those." And I'm like, them letters over there, they don't even have my name spelled right. So I'm definitely not opening those because I'm just a number. They don't really care. My name is Arabic, W-A-L-I-Y-Y, Waliyy, and that's being loved and protected by the Creator. So Rutgers, someone from Rutgers was coming, like when I was in 8th grade, like coming to my games, and I met this guy named Chicago, Southside, we friends to this day, Italian guy. I went to a Rutgers game. I used to go to a Rutgers game all the time. And not only would they just send a letter or something, they would like actually have my name written out. So I'm like, you know, plus out of my family, I can't think of no one besides maybe like one of my first cousins who I know was recruited like that, who wound up going to Connecticut, UConn for football. And so I really didn't even understand that whole process. I just was able to just do what I knew how to do. Just go play ball. I went to Rutgers. I was a proposition. So I had to sit out my first year at Rutgers. At the time, everybody was a Prop 48, I believe it was. That means they didn't have the SAT and the 2.0 GPA.
Yeah.
My situation, well, like I get into that very, very deep in my docu-movie coming out soon, where my coach, Wilbur Akins, he didn't think I was going to pass the SAT. The first time I took it, I was coming from Zanzibar Club in Newark, New Jersey. I took it, I got like a 690 or something on it. So my dad was like, yo, you have to get this test. God rest him. He was like, yo, I'm going to pay for this thing. It was called the Princeton Review. I think it was like $1,000.
Yeah.
I used to go to Cranford, took the Princeton Review, took the test. I got like an 860 or 890 on the test. So I told my coach, I was like, yo, I passed the test. And he was like, what? You cheated? I'm like, what are you talking about? It's possible to cheat. You know what I mean? If anybody would cheat, I didn't know anything about that. So he wasn't even happy about it. So the reason why I was the first person that I believe in New Jersey, I'll say New Jersey, to fall under something called Proposition 42. And the Proposition 42 was an athlete that had the SAT score but didn't have the GPA. So my guidance counselor, my coach is telling me I have a 1.9. Now, let's be real. If I had a 1.9, you telling me that all I had to do was go to summer school to get to 2.0, forget walking on the stage. I ain't worrying about that.
Right.
But I'll be able to play my freshman year. Come on. That was never even a question I had or an option. So I look back, maybe, let's say 20 years later. I graduated in 92. So I'm going through some papers. I see my transcript. I'm like, hold on. Damn. My coach gave me the lowest grade in gym. Brought it down to a 1.9. And it's some things that happen that's gonna be just blow people's mind.
Right.
But all I can say is that he benefited from me going to Rutgers and staying at Rutgers, because during that time in the 90s, you was able to transfer, and Rutgers was in Atlantic 10.
Yeah.
So I was one of the top recruits since a guy named James Bailey. And it was a big thing, like, yo, we got a local kid coming here that's dynamite on the court. He's the man, da-da-da-da. And so it was a big thing of me going to Rutgers, staying home, going to the state school. So at the time, if you transferred within the Atlantic 10, you didn't have to sit out. Now it's like if you transfer, you got to sit out. So my coach knew that, and also Rutgers knew that. Eddie Jordan and Jeff Van Gundy used to be in my grandmother's house on McCallum Street, 12th from McCallum Street, like all the time, coming to the open gyms to watch me play. That's who recruited me, Jeff Van Gundy and Eddie Jordan. Once I got to Rutgers, my freshman year, not only did I have to sit out, but those guys had left. I wasn't mad, but I was like, wow, you know, who going to teach me now? Eddie Jordan said he's going to teach me with my guard game. You know, Jeff going to just help mold me and to be a great athlete and just a better person, you know. Those guys leave. So now my freshman year, I'm just out there. I'm going to the liquor store. I'm just partying. I did enough in the classroom to where I was able to play the next year. I wasn't stupid or nothing, just wasn't applying myself, not understanding the traditional route that it's going to take to go to the next level. Still playing at Rucker Park. I remember the season was over, and it's 2 letters that people look for at their P.O. box. The one letter is a letter from your family and friends. And the second letter that everybody look for is that rebate check.
Pell Grant.
A Pell Grant. So this particular day, I went there to my mailbox. It was neither of the two. It was a letter basically saying your services are no longer wanted here. I was kicked out of school, academically ineligible, and now I'm where schools was calling me, writing me, sending me letters. Now I found myself. I had a book with all different colleges in it. I'm just calling the schools, say, hey, my name is Waliyy Dixon. I got a 40+ inch vertical. I can do this, I can do that. The next question they say is, well, what's your GPA? Oh, I just let. There's one coach, never forget him, Coach Willie Washington. Called him up. I said, how you doing? My name is Waliyy Dixon. I got a 40 inch vertical. He said, yeah? Well, what's your GPA? I told him what happened to Rucker. He said, well, we can work on that. If you is what you say you is, I give you a ride. And this was the coach of Benedict College in Columbia, South Carolina.
Okay.
So I went there, never played. Some things happened on the streets or in the streets, for have you. You know, back in the day in the 90s, it was like cats said they could get money down the south, and I let one of my boys come down, do X, Y, Z. Things didn't go a certain way to where I felt like, you know what, I got to get up out of Dodge. So I left in the middle of the night, went to Sumner because I'm from South Carolina. Went to chill with my family in South Carolina. Then I came back home. And at the time, I had an agent who I was looking to sign with, and I wound up signing with him, but he was giving me some ideas and directions on certain things. Eugene Napoleon. And he said, yo, you still want to play ball? I said, yeah, one more shot. So now he said, yo, I got Caldwell College. Caldwell College, small school in New Jersey. I go to Caldwell College, first day of practice. They balling. The guys literally stepping to the side so I could like dunk it and stuff. So I was like, nah, I'm a competitor. I can't do this. I definitely can't do this. So I wound up leaving that school. My mayor, powerful guy. He was a mayor for like over 25 years in the town, John T. Gregorio. Called him up, and I was like, hey, Mr. Gregorio, I want to come see you. He said, come on, Wal, come check me out. Italian guy, mob guy. God rest him. I went to go see him. I said, hey, I need a job. He said, what's up with basketball? I said, you know, just left these schools and ain't going the direction I wanted to go. He said, you know what? This was a Friday. That Friday, he said, go see my son Johnny Jr. on Monday, because, you know, they had all control of the scaffolding companies and all that construction stuff. So my mind was set like, yo, that's it with the ball. I got to take care of family. It's over with. So that Saturday, I got the newspaper. I think it was the Star Ledger. Going through the newspaper. I said, oh, what is this? Tryouts for the Harlem Wizards. All right, give that a shot. Tried out for the Harlem Wizards, made the team. I thank Ty Davis, you know, for giving me the opportunity. Speedy Williams and them guys like that. Tex Barnwell, God rest him. So that was a whole nother experience for me. Going from playing real basketball to now was kind of staged a little bit, you know. But God was good. I was able to work on my game. I'm working on my handle. I'm working on my jump shot. And my first professional contract said my job title was dunker. That's it. That's all they wanted me to dunk. I learned how to do the reams and stuff. We went overseas as well. So that was a heck of an experience. And once again, still playing at Rucker Park, doing my thing in the summer. I couldn't wait for the summer. You know, I tell people, you know, Rucker Park, thank Greg Marius, thank Mousy. EBC was my NBA. Right. So the fans that got a chance to see me, you saw me at Red Farm. You saw a young Waliyy, the little afro, you know what I mean, little muscles jumping out the gym. So that was like my NBA. I played 11 years out there.
No question. So let me go back and ask two questions. Number one, when you went to Rutgers, who was there with you? Was Jamal Phillips there? Was Charles Jones there?
That's my bro. Charles came. He transferred. Ooh. So Charles came in, and it was me, Charles, Jamal Phillips, Damon Santiago. Ooh. Man, yo, we had so much plans as far as on that alley-oop wing stuff. But he had got a stretch fracture like the first day of practice. So he was out. We had this young boy, Pete Marticarco. We had Rich Ashmead. We had Sheon Gibbons. Yeah, we had Rich Ashmead, Sheon Gibbons, the big kid, what's his name? We had a nice crew. Anthony something. We had a nice crew, you know, and people don't know this. I played my whole career. Andrew Kobachowski, somebody just said it. Andrew Kovachowski. Yeah. We had a I always played my whole career ever since I ever touched the basketball, with no feeling in my left calf, and I had herniated disc in my back. But nobody never knew that, you know. So even at Rutgers, if you look at some of the articles and stuff, and they say even playing with a bad back, Dixon X, Y, and Z, you know. So I was given like maybe 85%. And the coach would pull me out thinking I'm hurt or whatever. I missed a couple of games because I couldn't even like stand up. I couldn't bend over. I couldn't do nothing. But I don't do no excuses. I had some very good games against like good talent. You know, like I threw it on Canby, saluted Canby. I had 23 against Temple. I was doing my thing, you know. But as far as on that consistent base and just going really off of just raw talent. So I big up guys like Jamal, who just was, and then the older guys was there my freshman year, Darnell Lumpkin, Rich. So it was like a good supporting cast. Steve Worthington was just now leaving. Right. My cousin Malik Jackson and Jamil Jackson was there playing football. So I had the supporting cast. It's just that when you don't do what you're supposed to do, and people on the outside looking in and say, yo, he should be doing that, so he should have did that. I'm gonna be honest. I wasn't that cat to go in the gym and shoot 1,000 jump shots or dribble all day long. I just was going off my natural ability. Right. But I learned a player showed me what natural ability versus another player who had natural ability plus workout is like I give it to Roger Rhodes. Every time I played against Roger Rhodes, I had to really dig in. You know what I mean? Because he bow-legged. He got natural ability and he worked out. And he's coming from one of the best programs in Jersey. You know, under Mr. Hurley. You know what I mean? So I learned a lot from playing against him. Like, yo, I got to dig in. I got to work on my game. And still, I was just always that wing player. And people never really knew how strong I was. You know, I was like a tweener. But I was able to master my style of play, mastering playing against a big guy in the post. Learning how to use his energy against him. You know what I mean? So I learned all of this stuff just from playing a lot of basketball. That's what I tell my boys now. Yo, y'all may be good, but you're gonna have to play more basketball. I played basketball all day long, different places, different towns, different cities, just all day playing ball. We didn't have the video games and all that. We had the Commodore computer. You know, we had I grew up from the era where we had the doggone football joint. It wasn't no Madden. It was you put the quarter or the penny on them. And it was electric football. Yeah, the vibrant. Like this. Then you get the heads up. We could play against somebody. So we didn't have all the distractions. So I think that was a reason why we played so much basketball. And I never really played it with my peers. I would just dominate them. I wanted to have a challenge. And I think that also helped me out, you know, down the road.
No question. And then the second piece of that, you said Todd Davis. Todd Davis that played at Cal State Bakersfield? Todd Davis? Was he a
No. What? No, I said Todd. No, I know Todd. No, Todd played with me at Rucker. No. Todd Davis. I said Davis. No, Richie Parker, Rich Ashmead.
No, I'm talking about you with the Harlem Wizards.
Oh, no. It was me, Speedy, Predator wound up playing. Pred. Okay. No, it wasn't Todd Davis. I think Todd would play with one of them joints. Because I went from the Harlem Wizards, then I went to the Harlem, with Shane. That's why I met Shane. Okay. One of those teams, the Generals or something like that. We played with.
Got you. So let's transition. You said you played so much at the Rucker, and the Rucker was like your NBA, and you made your name out there. All of a sudden, these and one mixtapes started to come out, right? And they was like, yo, who is this guy Duncan, right? And they said the main event. But I'm a basketball guy, so I knew who you were just from coming up playing basketball, you know what I mean? So like, oh, shoot, that's what Waliyy Dixon doing now, like, you know what I mean? So talk about the transition with the EBC into the and one stuff, you know what I mean, and how that came about.
You know, I won, 3 championships out there, I believe 2 with Mousie's Dream Team, 1 with Bad Boy. I could be wrong, but I know it was 3 championships. Crazy team. You know, my championship teams was Ron Artest, Elton Brand, Kareem Reed, Ron Mathias, a.k.a. Terminator, Captain Nappy. Mousie knew how to pick. Mousie kept young, fresh cats, but he also kept the OGs, which was Termin them, you know. And he was like the Tarkanian, yo. He was like the Bobby Knight, you know. Mousie was very smart. He's very smart and right here and know how to put the pieces together. So from playing in different all-star games, getting picked to play in the all-star games at Rucker, it was one year in the summer of, I think, '99. Greg Marius invited me to come out and play a Virginia Beach with the celebrity team going down to play against the All-Stars in Virginia. I made that game, and when I got there, the camera guys was taking the cameras down because they found out that, God rest him, Ali Mo wasn't going to make it. They was there specifically to see Ali Mo, the Black Widow. My God, God rest him. So Greg says, yo, you need to see Main Event. And I did something in the lab line. Next thing I know, the camera's going back up. And I don't know what was going on. I didn't find out that story until after. So look at my journey. Kicked out of school, played with the Wizards, doing different things. But I never gave up. And I met this guy, came up to me, and he was like, yo, you ever heard of And One? I'm like, nah. I said, yo, I could take your job. I didn't know what he did at the time. I had no clue what he did, you know? So I met this dude named JR, and he was like, hey, we want to have a meeting with you. You saw Volume 1. And the first time I saw Volume 1, I was in North New Jersey at Dr. J's. And I'm going to purchase my items, and they had like a little TV back there with the VCR connected to it, the VHS. And I'm like, oh, that's me right there. And the guy was like, he said, oh, that is you. I had the little afro because Volume 1 skipped on oops. I'm on that whole tape with the little afro, you know? Right. So I'm like, oh, that's crazy. So I had an idea who they was, or did I see it after? It was either before meeting And One or after, but it wasn't too far apart. So they was like, yo, we want to put out 150,000 copies of you. Give us all your highlights, and we're going to put you're going to be the face for Volume 2. So I was like, oh, that's crazy right there. So I thought about it, and I was like, nah. I hit them back, and before I even got a chance to call any of the guys I called, I was like, yo, I can bring 5 of the best ballers to your company to represent and market your brand. 5 of the best street ballers that's not in the NBA. 5 of the best street ballers in the world that's not in the NBA to represent and market your brand. It was like, so they asked the dude Set Free, who was known for doing the soundtrack. He's the soundtrack. He didn't create the mixtape, but he created the soundtrack, the music, had connections, you know, with the labels and stuff, getting Snoop Dogg and Mos Def. He had to hit that plug. He was an audio to the street basketball with And One. So then I called Shane up, and I said, yo, we got a situation. He called Future. I called Half Man. I always heard about the guy who Half Man called. His name was Kraft and Ferguson. Because Jamal would always talk about Kraft. Yo, my man Kraft. And it's crazy how we actually met. And that was, and then that was the first initial 5 that I brought. And that's why I always tell people, when you build a house, what's the first thing you build?
Foundation.
So look at that foundation. You got Shane Dribble Machine, Future, Aircraft, Half Man, Half a Mason, and Main Event. Look at that foundation.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You got guys who had basketball backgrounds. Some guys played overseas at the time. So the foundation is what allowed it to be what it had become.
Nah, no question about it. It took off. You know, for sure. You know what I mean? And it was about the mixtape, and I think the mixtape went so crazy. Everybody from the East Coast to the West Coast wanted this mixtape. Like, we're about to go in the store, like, we had to buy something to get the tape. You know what I mean? But now, they put y'all on the bus. They put y'all in NBA arenas. Now we're going to bring some other people on. Now, if you're a true basketball head, these names that you mentioned, people know Half Man, Future, Shane, you know what I'm saying? But then I talk about, okay, because it became such a media craze, it became about moves that weren't basketball related. And I'm tough on hot sauce. Like, you understand what I'm saying? As a basketball person, I'm tough on hot sauce. But then all of a sudden, like, that's what kids started wanting to do, throw the ball over people's heads. And, like, you know what I mean? And it got away from basketball as part of the entertainment. You played basketball and was recruited to play basketball at Rutgers University. The same way you played in the park is the same way that you played on the hardwood. You understand what I'm saying? So you wasn't doing nothing in the park that you wouldn't do at the racket.
Period.
So talk about that, because, like I said, I think it became too commercial. and took away from the essence of street ball. So talk about that, because you was on the ground with that, and let the viewers know about that.
It definitely took away the essence of it. Part of that idea that we shared with And One was, like in the 90s, for guys that wanted to go overseas or play in the different G leagues or D leagues, whatever they had, like the farm leagues to the NBA, you couldn't just call up and be like, yo, I'm calling Portugal, and I'm like, y'all want to play on your team. They want footage. They want to see footage. So it was also, we knew, if you listen to our dialogue from volume 1 to volume 4, our dialogue was like, yo, some cats still trying to make it, play professionally overseas, the least. So we was playing against the best. We came to Chicago, we playing against the best ballers from Chicago. A lot of them came from the Pro-Am leagues and things like that. We going to Berry Farms. We playing against the best. Wherever we going, we playing against the best real street ballers. Ballers, period. As the years went on, they started getting guys, and they took away the referees. That's when I noticed the game is changing now. Because you just went and saw the guy over here working Foot Locker, and he got the striped shirt on. You tell him, yo, come down. So when we was getting Pro-Am reps, you told that guy to come ref the game. Because you let these guys allow to do they think, whatever they want to call it. Yeah. And at one time, I brought it up with And One, and they was like, well, it's entertaining. I said, well, we wouldn't have got as far as we got if it wasn't entertaining. I look at the guys I played against or saw play at Rucker Park or throughout New York City, period. You talking about New York City, you think of New York City, you think of Harlem, you think of the Knicks back in the day when the GOATs was there, how just flamboyant. But they did it within the confine of the rules. That's what make it very entertaining to me. For a cat to be able to go through his legs, do an inside out, look you off and throw a no-look out of you, that's entertaining.
Yes.
Versus me coming and running with the ball and doing all this woo-woo-woo. Because we used to say, we're the best street ball team. No, the Harlem Globetrotters is the best show basketball team in the world. In the world. We not the Globetrotters. We are street ballers. And they couldn't figure the two out. So once the company wanted to go in that route, now they started really gearing the game around these different individuals who couldn't adapt. And we tried. We tried to be like, yo, listen, if you learn how to do this, if you learn how to do a pick and roll, because if you look at the way we was beating people was basic basketball. Yeah. Box out, rebound, boop, 2-3 dribbles. We up. You look up, we up by 15, 20 points. Right. Y'all ain't even score yet, but it was all just basic basketball. So now when you start getting this new group coming in to where the company is telling you, we want you to be entertaining, you can do whatever you want. People don't even notice, man. A lot of guys couldn't get in the game unless we was up by 15. Mm-hmm. Our motto was, we'll play anybody, anywhere, anytime. We want to win. We really fighting for the culture. We winning for the culture. We ain't trying to take no losses on the court, off the court, in between. We're not trying to take no losses. Mm-hmm. I seen guys starting to shake a joker and throw the ball in the crowd. That's when I was like, that the game is about scoring. The game is about stopping and scoring. Because when you go to a court, you be like, yo, I got next. If you don't win, you might not play no more that day. So you think I'm going to lose a game because a cat did something crazy? No. So we were just trying to weigh it out like, yo, maybe these guys should do some stuff at halftime with the kids, try to steal a ball from them or something. It ain't no hate or nothing. It's just my side of my reality of it. So we would get back in the game, going to fourth quarter, down by 15, win by 20. So I went to my agent at the time, Eugene Napoleon. I said, yo, I have to do something because I got parents coming to me, coming to Shane as well, like, yo, my son, he got cut from the team, or he not getting no burn because he want to do this and he want to do that. And it went to the point where I was like, yo, maybe you need to talk to whoever you talking about that's showing them that. If you see me play, they want to tell me, yo, my son play hard. He dives on the floor outside and like I go hard. So my I gotta say, my contribution to help something that I was a part of. I said, yo, I got to do something. He's like, what do you want to do? I said, I don't know. He hit me back maybe about 3 weeks later. He said, I got something for you. And that's when I did the sports school. On the On-Demand with Bill Walton, me and Ham. That was like a blessing because now I'm actually showing You know, Bill Walton's showing the NBA stuff, but I'm showing you some drills you can just do at home, some street ball drills. You know what I mean? Basically to help you become a better street baller, better athlete, better player. So that was a blessing. That was like one of the #1 shows for the sports school thing. So that was my contribution, trying to help the game, because I understand, and I say it, yo, we messed up almost a generation of players. And I say we because I was a part of it.
Right.
I couldn't control it, but the only thing I was able to control was what I can do, and that was to leave.
Right.
And that was one of my main reasons leaving, because I never want to go against the culture. You got hip hop. You take breakdancing, graffiti, and b-boys. Do you really have hip hop? You have to keep those elements. Once we went inside the arenas, you took away from the elements of the street ball game. You know, so that's sometimes you got to take a couple steps back to move a couple steps forward, and that's what we chose to do.
No question about it. So, you know, every basketball player, any athlete, at some point, you got to walk away from the game. You know what I'm saying? Father Time is undefeated. But you haven't stopped, man. I want you to talk to the viewers about what's made up to these days and how you're giving back. Because I want to make sure that we shed some light on that, because you're more than just a basketball player or somebody who used to play basketball in your community.
Just dealing with politics and fighting against the unjust, you know, fighting against the oppressor, trying to get our people to think outside the box, being a helping hand, whether it's from a kid, even to the adults, being an ear, because sometimes a person just wants you to talk to them, see what's going on. We have something called Blacktop Streetball Association, where we're going to use that platform, use that company to bring street ball, the essence of it back. Entertainment, community, opportunity. There's going to be so many different things that's formed from it. And just being real, just keeping it 100. You know, I don't ever tell nobody, yo, don't ask about this, don't ask about that. Just keeping it 100 and being true to the game, because I know with that ball, with the Creator blessed me with that ball, to take me all around the world to meet different types of different people, walks of life. People say, oh, you should have went to the NBA. That's what you're saying, but you really have no say so. It's not up for argument or debate when the man above have a whole different plan.
Right.
You know, we would have made millions and millions and multi-millions and millions and millions at 26, 27, 28 years old. We might not be talking right now. I wasn't ready for that. So I think everything that he take us through, we just have to know that, just keep going, because we never know what is the big picture, what is it going to be. But I know, if anything, we touched a lot of lives, and it came from that basketball. And to sum it up below is like, if you have a brand new basketball, right, and you have to put air in it, right? That's how I feel, how we made our fans feel. We gave people hope. When that air in that basketball, you're like, yo, now you want to see how makes got enough air in it. So we about to breathe air back into the game. We didn't invent street basketball, bro. Right. We didn't invent it, but we was able, through the blessings and through the company think they street ball. But you're not street ball if the ingredients is gone, the essence is gone. You can't claim that title. You can't claim it. It was the players. So we just want to breathe air back into it, and we was blessed to be able to take street basketball and introduce it to the world. So where now you got everybody want to pick up that ball, but we just want to guide them into how that ball could change your life. You know what I mean? Because it changed my life. It got me out of different trouble. It was a safe haven. It's an alternative to joining a gang or being involved in something negative. You know, so we just want to, as a community thing, it's something for everybody to do at our events we doing. We just waiting for the COVID thing to see how that go. Because right now they undefeated, they taking lives, and we don't want to be a part of nothing to where we jeopardizing anyone. Yes, we just using the stuff I learned to better myself, to better my family, and also better people and give people an opportunity.
Nah, that's beautifully stated. So as I wrap this thing up, I want to ask you a couple of quick hitters. I'm going to just ask you a couple questions and let me know off the top of the dome right now. Favorite rapper of all time?
Favorite rapper of all time? That's hard, man.
I'm gonna give you a
I just throw some names. I throw some names. So when I was
off, yeah, give me Pop.
Give me Biggie, Pop, the whole D Block. I'm from that era. Rakim, you know, Big L. Like I'm that era. I'm Dipset. Like you know, that's so I listen to that Scarface. That's just to name a few. I got to go with Naughty Tracks. You know, I'm the old school era.
I got that's me. That's me. Give me your favorite NBA players.
No, I don't follow the game. I watch it if it's on, my boys. But I never had an NBA team. I never had an NFL team. I had no sports team. Never had a person's jersey. I just like to see a good game. I like to see a good game.
Take me back. First thought. And one versus New York City, Riverbank Park. Main event throws the ball in the freaking water. Talk about it.
Frustrated at Escalade. Well, not even at Escalade. Got wrestled. Frustrated at the referees because they wanted New York to beat us so bad. So the first play, I did foul Escalade. But on the second one that they called, I didn't foul him. And I said, you know what? And it's just frustration and being competitive. Y'all threw the joint in the Hudson River, man. And the crazy thing is when they filmed the ball rolling down the river, y'all was like, yo, you're crazy, man.
Listen, but that's what I understand when we talk about the and one games and how we kind of lost its way. To me, that game stands out. And then the one game where y'all went back to Linden and played in U Park, when you guys were trying to choose, I think, between like Professor and them. That was like basketball in the park. You understand what I'm saying? Those are two things that stuck out to me when it comes to this, when it comes to the and one. So the last question I always ask all my guests, when it's all said and done, how does Waliyy Dixon want to be remembered?
He never gave up. It wasn't all about It was all about, you know, I get ridiculed now, like, yo, you always looking out for somebody, or this and the third, get your feet in the door first. And just my whole story is I never gave up. I could have, think about it, when you talk about sports, I could have stopped when I got cut in 6th grade. I could have stopped when I got cut in 7th grade. But now I got a personal goal. You know what I mean? I got my personal goals now, so I got to go out there and just give my all and just never give up, because you never know what's on the other side. And I want to tell you something. I want you to keep an eye and your ears open for this cat. I got to shout out Sue Surf from my man Joe. You heard about the Trenches League? Yo, it's in Jersey. Listen, my nephew Day told me about it. He said, yo, Unc, you got to go out to such and such, yo, and no, they got this Trenches League. It's one-on-ones. Y'all went out there. And that is the essence right there. I mean, and then how humble Sue Surf is. You know, this guy's younger than me. I know Sue Surf pops. And then Joe, I call him Joe Conda. Welcome to Joe Conda. Yo, he got jersey on his back right now. Like, he's crazy with it. Like, this one-on-ones, he's been killing everybody. Just remember that name. His name is Joe. But his name's Joe Smooth on Instagram. But look, yo, he's laying it down. And when I got a chance to really talk to them, because I'm in they live, right? And I chime in, and they're like, oh, the big homies in here. And, you know, I'm like, whoa. Yo, just how y'all feel about me, I feel about y'all, because y'all keeping the torch lit. Like, that means a lot. And I'm pretty sure there's leagues all around, but to see it done in Jersey, and for them to tell me, yo, big homie, we learned all this from you. And I never met them in my life until that particular day and the hospitality they showed, but just sitting back, like, it gets no real than a one-on-one.
No doubt.
You can't look for no pick. You gotta, it's like Duke say, mano y mano.
Right.
In a one-on-one. So remember that name? I call him Joe Conda. Okay. But his name is Joe Smooth. And Jersey making some noise, so be on the lookout for that Trenches League.
No question about it, man. Listen, man, I appreciate you coming on and spending time with me. And let the viewers know where they can watch this Main and Shane show, man.
Main and Shane show, if you go on either Main Dribble Machine or my Instagram, Main for Event, is right in our bio. Yo, subscribe to the joint. We're going to have some good topics coming up there. We talk about everything. You know, we have fun with it, but we just letting people know, like, there's a lot to be told. You know, you know how they say you gotta stay true to the don't tell us, but this is some fun stuff that we just want to share with people, like people just don't know. And also use it as a platform to pay homage, you know, to our soldiers that's going on and got their wings, that's looking over us. And just, you know, we ain't with all that gossip stuff. I was telling Shay, I said, Shay, you know what? You look at these podcasts and everybody, I ain't doing that, man. I just not gonna do that. Like, I ain't no knock to them cats, whoever they are, but I ain't. Nah, I'm not going to pull up no investigations. I'm not doing it. How can we uplift each other and do some things together? Let's work together. Because networking, the internet is networking. Like if I know you're doing something, I could be doing the same thing, but how can we bring it together? Let's bring it together. We're not winning doing it separate. We're not winning going against each other. We're not winning that way. Just because you may be getting 100,000 views and a couple dollars a month, that don't mean it's right. Work together because we're already fighting against somebody. You know what I mean? Yeah. Let's work together. Let's do it together. You know what I mean?
Yo, y'all peep that Man and Shane show, man. Subscribe to it on YouTube, man. Listen, man, I appreciate you, dog.
Thank you, brother. God bless you.
Toast to you, man. Everything that you do for the game, man. Appreciate you.
Be safe, be blessed.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.